Hello everyone, Navigator back again. So today we're going to be going over how to program the Tait TP/TM series radios for CTRS. Keep in mind this only counts as the TP9100, TP9400, 9800, and the TM9100. TM9400. Everything else is either DMR or analog only, which of course will not work for CTRS. And I think, well, did I mention the 9600? No, I did. Okay, never mind. All right, so here we are in P25 Terminal's programming application. This is how you're going to go about programming everything. So first off, right off the bat, you would want to read the radio first. It sets a bunch of stuff up for you, but as we're not, we're going to make sure we set the band to Hector 7. This sets this. Keep in mind you can do ham band on these as it just lets you into the frequency. Standard compliance, FCC TIA. There you go. Customer information, this is going to be a power on alias. And then set all this up as you wish. Startup shutdown, it's all up to you. I'd recommend trunking band scan on power up. This is all up to you as well. Receiver monitoring, I wouldn't touch it. Tait radio IPI, odds are you haven't paid for it and we don't use any of the features. Skip past location services, MDC ANI list. You'd set up your MDC conventional aliases for the conventional I/O frequencies. The MDC ID for everyone is going to be their call sign, which is just the last 4 of their radio ID. Bluetooth, up to you. OTAP, we don't use it. TCP/IP, same deal. Talk group lists. We're going to make one called CTRS TRS, because yes. Wow. Group ID, we're going to go 7B. Label, this is going to be, there you go. And for all the system-wide ones, it's going to be selectable. And then you'd set up your key. We use AES TFK1 on all the public system-wide talk groups. Everything else can be left as is. And of course, you go in here, adding all the talk groups that you need. Yeah, so as we don't have that set up right now, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. Call lists, these are going to be your over-the-air IDs. So for my Apex, it'd be 9001. Phone call, don't use. Message, don't use. Status, we do use. Status ID 1, 2, 3. And then avail, busy, DND. Site list, this is up to you if you want to alias your sites or not. Control channel lists, 451 to 8, 456 to 8, 451 to 8125, 456 to 8125, etc., etc., etc. If you're using VOC and you only have Tait units, you don't have any Motorola's, then you would add a separate, well, you'd add your VOC site. Let's say you're on 464.569.5, and then down here, channel type, you set to composite. Channel ID list. There you go. You're going to go until you have channel ID 4. These two you're going to ignore. Channel ID 3 and 4 is what we're going to be using. We start counting from 0. Most places start counting from 1. that's just how it is. Deal with it. So channel ID 3 is going to be a base frequency of 146.000. That's going to be your VHF. Offset of +1. There you go, 1.000. It's particular about that. Base frequency for channel ID 4 is going to be 450. And then 5.00. And then it's going to be FDMA 12.5. Roamable systems don't have any, don't use it. Encryption keys, go in here, AS, TFK1, then you put in the CKR. You need secure perms in the Discord to see all our keys. Your RSI, you're going to set this to your radio ID. And then if you have single privacy key enabled on the radio, you don't need a keyloader. You can just put the key in here. TIA standard is AES-256. So there you go. KMF, we don't use it right now. Once we do, we'll give you all the information. Ignore all this, ignore CellCal, go down to basic settings. We're going to start with P25 trunking. Name it CTRS TRS. Radio ID 71001. There you go. Proceed to talk tone, GUI, normal, signaling type, 2-tone. If you have a QC2 tone assigned to you. If you don't, open up a ticket, we'll get you one. All this can be left as is. Go down to common. Oh, there we go. So talk group list, you're going to select the one we just did. Individual call TX, caller RX TX, radio check RX. And then status list that, status request, and TX. Message if you set those up as well, but that's up to you. Use talk group encryption settings, proper key detect, and then for individual call, if you want to set up a key, you do that there. And then everything else, we can move on. P25 trunking, you would need to load the key beforehand, and it will populate here. Announcement group ID is going to be 911. There you go. Individual call with availability check is what we use. We do not use radio authentication as of this date. That is later. Can't tell you when. Control channel list. You're going to set that to one you did. Channel ID, set to the one you just did. Site display and site trunking, enable those. If they're not enabled, they should by default. Phase 2, we do not use hunting parameters. Set this up for what you need. The detect level, that's going to be your RSSI parameters. As I'm in the city, I use city, and it works great. There we go. Advanced ISP sequence length 10. Quick fade protect. That is going to be 63430, I believe. Oh, okay, that's right. Tait does it weird. So we're just going to set that back to 250. It should be fine. Preamble length. If it's 0, you got a problem. Set that to 250. And then uncheck restrict NAC. There you go. Data, don't use patch keys. Don't have patching. Phone call. We don't do phone call. P25 paging. This is going to be your 2-tone. So this is where you set your ID. So in this case, let's do 500, 750, and then the tone C will always be 1000. Now in here, decode, we do AB. That's going to be your individual call. And then C, supergroup. There you go. Then you can set up decodes here, and then your encodes can be here if you want to encode other people's IDs. Phone patch, ignore that. We don't do that. Emergency is not supported on DVM. Only calls. Do not enable emergency alarm. Alerts. This is going to be for your paging. I like ring, and this allows you to set that up here. Auto acknowledge and indicate missed call. And then for your group and supergroup calls as you defined in P25 paging. So there you go. And then, of course, if you were to do conventional, go back to basic settings, hit add, it'll go to next one. What I like about the Taits is if we go over here, back to TRS, and hit copied all profiles, sets our radio ID already. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, so P25 conventional, noise level, and call, proceed to talk tone. And then type 99 as well if you wish. And then common, unit ID is already there. Call alert, radio check. Excuse me. Individual call TX, talk group set as well. CA data, we don't use it. Message, don't use it. Status, if you wish, for conventional. Encryption, same deal here, though here you can just strap it if you wish. Then advanced, we don't use that either. P25 conventional, talk group, I recommend selectable. This is your RX unmute rule. Selective means it only hears that NAC, that talk group. Monitor means it hears basically everything on that NAC. Basically everything P25. Normal is everything on that NAC, regardless of talk group. Late entry pass and unmute, enable please. Relative position of talker. This is if you have other Tait users with GPS. This won't decode the Motorola Apex stuff. Advanced, leave this as is, unless you're doing DVM conventional instead of trunked. Then you'd set both these to 250. This helps the hotspots pick up on stuff. P25 paging, same deal. You do as before. This would allow you to do P25 QC2 tone pages over conventional as well, just like you would on trunking. Alerts, do the same thing as before with trunking, but now on conventional. It doesn't allow you to copy this for whatever reason. With zones, go in here, add your zones. I'd recommend you have a system-wide, an area 1, Travis. You can name these whatever. Area 2, DFW. Area 3, LA County. And then if you wish to have 5M, you just have another zone there for the 5M stuff. And then of course, conventional IO. And then advanced, this allows you to set voice initiative files if you have that enabled. Go into channels. You can select your zone down here by going back and forth, or just selecting from the checkbox. The drop down, there we go. Add channels here, or you can clone them and delete them right here. This right here is going to be your position on the channel ID, the channel knob. It's going to be the position of the channel knob. You can have skips in it if you wish to do an EFJ thing, and it lets you go up to 2000 on mobiles, as that allows you to do stuff on mobiles. Profile, this is going to be either your trunked or your conventional. Select your talk group here. If it's conventional, then you'll put your RX, TX, your NAC, etc., and then your squelch, depending on where you are. Once again. Then for, you'd have your voice announcement files. Within that zone, you also can allow you to edit the channels in this style menu versus the sideways. Advanced, I wouldn't set anything there, except for voice announcement file per channel. Signaling preset, that really doesn't matter unless you go over to conventional I/O and do a analog, which we didn't set up. You would need that though. And then of course, enable it two-tone on signaling decode. UI preferences, all this is going to be up to you, except for a channel freed indicator. I'd recommend you just leave that off, otherwise it's going to do a beep every time somebody transmits and lets up, which I'm not too sure you want. Voice announcement, of course, you enable it here, and then you can have audible notifications like the customized alerts on the Kenwood Vikings or EFJs. Same deal. Of course, set up all your wow, all your buttons and stuff through here. Geofencing if you want. PTT, I'd use it where it is. Lone worker if you want. Audio services, up to you as well. Radio menu, same deal. So that's how you would do the Tait, TP, and TM style radios. Thank you very much.